Syracuse, baby, at the MMA Fan Expo, and you're here with MyMMAnews.com, baby, because this is what we do and why we do it all night long, baby. We rollin'! Yeah! All night. Boom!
Adam Crist from MyMMAnews.com with the legend himself. I'm talking about the babysitter to the stars, Burt Watson. Burt, first off, thank you for joining me. How do you feel about the expo, man?
Well, you know, it's a pleasure to be here. I'm happy to see the turnout that they've had here. This is unbelievable.
Okay.
Up here in Syracuse, in New York, where they're still trying to make things happen on a professional level.
Sure.
This just shows the amount of fan entrance. It shows people's enthusiasm, and heck, I'm having a good time, baby.
Hey, I'm having a good time
real
being here
good
with
time.
you. I want to loosen it up a little bit. I'm going to ask you to teach me something.
Okay.
I want you to teach me the infamous We Rollin'. I want to get it out of my diaphragm, right? Can you teach me how?
Well, before you go down to the diaphragm, I thought the camera shut off on me. Before you go down to the diaphragm, you got to go right here first. It's got to come from here.
Oh, yeah.
It's got to come from the heart.
Okay.
And if it comes from the heart, it goes down there real easy, because when it goes to the heart, it hits here and it bounces back up, baby.
All right, can I try, and then you tell me how I do?
Okay, you try. Breathe, hit from the heart, and hit it. Think about it, and just go get it done.
We rollin'! Yeah! How was it?
I kind of like that a little bit, but you got to try it again.
Okay.
And you go, we rollin'! Yeah!
One more time.
Okay.
We rollin'! Yeah!
All night long.
This is what we do and why we do it. All right, let's get into it real quick, man.
Okay.
Everybody knows about your departure from the UFC. That's old news, but you're with a phenomenal organization now in your hometown, Cage Fury
100%.
Fighting Championships.
Yes.
How does it feel to come home, and how does it feel to be a wanted commodity with such a prestigious league?
Well, first of all, it's a blessing to still be relevant.
Yeah.
For people to be interested enough to approach me, and Rob Haydack approached me about coming on with Cage Fury. It's a regional promotion. It allows me and affords me not only to be home, but to work with my family, stay close to my family, and to stay relevant. And that is so important. And right now, you know, I've done 3 shows with them. We had one in Bethlehem, and I'm getting ready to do one at the Borgata in Atlantic City. But I'm real excited. I'm excited. I get a chance to work with not only them, but I also get a chance to work with the amateurs on the amateur level, which I never did before.
Right.
Matter of fact, never really had an idea about the amateur level. knew it makes sense that there was one, but I never had an opportunity. Now I do. I have an opportunity to work with them. The enthusiasm, I'm glad to do it. I'm happy to do it, and happy to still be relevant.
And you were talking about the enthusiasm. There's not one fighter known to man that you've worked with, and you know this for a fact, that they don't take some kind of sense of livelihood, that energy in the cage that only Burt Watson can provide. Where does that come from?
It comes from the commitment that I give to them and to the sport from my heart.
Yeah.
It comes from the commitment I give to and from myself to get the job done.
Yeah.
You know, and when you do it from here and here, it's very easy that it comes out because you like it, you like what you're doing, and when you like what you're doing, it's easy. Very true now. I'm at an age in my life where it's not the easiest thing to go down in there and muster up all of that energy.
Yeah.
But you know what? When I go down there and I pull it out, it's like the ringing of the bell for the first round. Once you're in it until the third.
Yep.
So I go down there and I get it, and it comes out, and it feels real good, you know?
Yeah.
And when I go home and put it to bed a little bit, to know that I can go down there and get it again, and to know that there's guys like yourself and fans and the fighters who genuinely not only appreciate it, but genuinely remember it and respect it, that makes me feel pretty good.
And we all know you've been in the game for a long time now. Growing up in Philadelphia, the fighting city, you know what I mean? You were around the boxing growing up, all that stuff. Where did your love for combat sports stem from?
My love for the sport of boxing started with Joe Frazier. That's where I started.
Yep.
I started with Joe Frazier, and I worked my way through until it was no longer just working as Joe Frazier's manager. I then transitioned into coordinating in boxing, and the transition went from coordinating in boxing to coordinating in MMA. Once I started with MMA, I was hooked.
Yeah.
Once I started working with, I knew of Bruce Lee, Bruce Leroy.
Right.
Bruce
Leroy, I love it.
That's about as much as I knew of martial arts.
Right, right.
And I was a big Chuck Norris fan. But then when I saw how organized it was and how it developed and how it started to develop, I became hooked myself. I became a fan.
Absolutely.
And I am still a fan today. Probably more so of the fighters than anything else, but
Absolutely.
I'm a fan.
Now, 2 final questions for the man himself. You've worked with athletes all over the world. You've worked with the amateurs now. What's one memory that sticks out to you that maybe, let's say, your favorite memory with working with these fighters throughout the years? Pick one for me.
It's hard to pick one, but I will say that I do remember UFC 100 because that was 100.
Yeah.
I also remember the very first female and the very first time I worked with a female in this sport because for all intended purposes, that was not supposed to happen.
Right, absolutely.
Females were not supposed to, or when I say not supposed to, not that they're not supposed to, but it was said that females would not be in.
I mean, Dana White said it himself. He would never sign a female in the UFC. Lo and behold, there's some of the best fights out now.
I don't be mentioning names, but when I got to work with Ronda Rousey, the very first time, very first female that I put gloves on, and I tried fit her for her gloves and so forth, and worked with her, and got to see not only the athlete, but the person that she was. That became pretty special for me.
Right. Now, one final question for you. Like I said, you've been the man for many years now. What do you want your lasting legacy to be? The Babysitter of the Stars, what do you want the lasting legacy?
I appreciate and I love the fact, and I love that name, Babysitters to the Stars.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's become a brand.
It's become that, but I want my legacy to be not only a babysitter, but a teacher. A guy that helps to motivate not only the athlete, but to help motivate the up-and-coming promoters, the young guys, the guys that need some sort of energy level, some sort of information of how to make it work in this sport, or in the world of coordinating and organizational structure. That's what I want my legacy to be. Because you know what? They're going to remember you if they want to remember you.
Yeah. And
you have to do something to make people remember you.
Well, that's what you want your lasting legacy to be, and I can
100%.
Guarantee my bottom dollar that will be the lasting legacy. I am with the man here, Babysitter to the Stars, Burt Watson. For Burt, I'm Adam Crist, and keep it locked to mymmanews.com.
Later, baby.